Morning, Denise. I'd like to welcome you to Life Beyond the Clouds, and I really appreciate that you're coming on today. So, with you, we're going to talk about spirituality and messages and how you're starting to receive them. And because I really want to help people with this, I think it's really important because we all go through times in our life where we all had times, and some of us more than others, where we sense and feel things. And it's really important. And I really want to help guide people on this. So, I want you to have the chance to ask me questions about it, how it works. And I want to give you a little bit of advice on how to help you along with this. And it's not anything bad or weird. And I think this is what people don't understand. They get afraid when you start to sense things. We keep it so much to ourselves. Even when I was little, if I share my story a little bit, I was 9 when I started sensing and feeling things. And and it comes to us at different ages and different times. Some of us get it later in life, or some of us get it for a while where we feel like we have it and it disappears and it confuses us because we think, did I really have it? Right? I sensed this for a little while, then all of a sudden it's gone. People message me about this, or we get it at times in our life where we really need it. So this is really how the messages work. They come to us when we need it. And sometimes we get into a point in our life where we feel like we're at that place where they want to really start helping us to guide us in a different direction, or they just want to send us a message, or some of us are getting it in a way. And I feel like you are, where they're kind of awakening you to more where you've sensed and felt things your whole life. But most of us are so afraid to say anything. We think people are going to think we're crazy, or we're making it up, or they don't believe us, right? They'll say, well, you knew that, or somebody told you, or, you were just thinking this happened. And I think this is what the sad thing is with this, is that when we don't help people with this, and I really also, as much as messages, it's really important to me to say to you, no, you're not crazy. You are experiencing these things, and they're really beautiful because the loved ones in heaven, think about, you have your own invisible football team in heaven, right? Just because you don't see them doesn't mean they're not there. So they're always supporting you, they're cheering you on, and they're trying to guide you. And with where you're at right now, I really believe you're at a place where you're very intuitive, you sense and you feel things. I feel like you're really artistic. And I believe people that are artistic really have a connection a lot, to the divine, because I feel like you paint. I don't know if you paint, but I feel like you paint. And it's like, this is where you receive messages. It's like when you quiet your energy down and you're not thinking, because you're a thinker, you think all the time. Like your mind is always going. And when you're painting and you're doing these other things, is when do you understand? It's when they can communicate with you more. For me, it's when I'm doing things around the house. I like to decorate and do things. And I will receive messages for myself when I'm doing that, because I'm not thinking about somebody else or worrying about what I have to do, or where I have to go. So it's where they will give me my personal messages. When I receive them for other people, I come in and I quiet my energy down. And so that's how I receive. But when it comes to us in our own life, we tend to not do that enough for ourselves. So this is where I really want to help and guide you. And I want you to be able to ask me questions, so it's about helping people to move forward on this journey. But I just felt, oh, your father, one thing I have to say, was there something about you having like the same birthday or being born on the same day? I don't know why I keep seeing this.
Yeah.
This makes sense. He's like saying twinsies, or like we're born on the same day.
Yeah, we
So,
are.
okay. Do you understand? This is how he wants you to know he's helping you, that he's communicating with you, Denise, that he's really the one that's trying to show you these things because he knows you're open to this, and you just have such a big heart. You want to help people. So he just kept saying, of course we're connected. We're born on the same day. So I think it's
It's
amazing.
amazing.
And I want you to be able, and he also kept talking about either maybe an art show or something about you doing a gallery or selling things. I don't know if this makes sense, but like you want to
Yeah.
do an art gallery or you want to sell things, and he's just guiding you. This is why you feel these messages. So I want you to be able to talk about this and ask me questions like how this works, or how I can help you, or what you sense and feel, because I want your heart to feel. Do you understand peace when we're done talking today?
Yes. Thank you. Yeah, we have the same birthday, July 9th. And yeah, I paint. I am a painter. I had an art show, and I do
Oh,
sell my stuff sometimes.
wow. Okay.
That's great. Oh, wow.
What is it that you sense and feel, or is there certain times you sense and feel it more, or have you always sensed and felt this from when you were little, or does it feel like it's been more recent? So I just want to help you along with this instead of just that was kind of maybe a hard question to throw at you. So did you feel it and sense it at certain times more, or was it when you were little?
I don't know when it started, honestly, but I have always been sensitive to people.
Mhm.
Like if they're, I don't know, anywhere I go, usually people will stop and Yeah. And they tell me their story. I don't know. I don't know what it is. Even my youngest was on. Every time we went to the store, he's like, "Why do people talk to you?" I said, I don't know.
You know why? Can I tell you why? It's because you have this light. You have this light inside of you, and we're all beautiful, right? Energy, and you have this light, and it shines really bright, and people feel it with you. See, that's me also a sign of people really having this gift. I'll be out too, and my husband will say that. Why does like everyone tells you their stories? Everyone, it's because they feel that from you. Do you understand? They feel this beautiful light that comes from you, and people are always attracted to the light. Nobody wants to be in the darkness. No one likes it. It's scary. It's cold. You don't know what's there, right? You feel alone. But when you feel the light, it's like you just feel this instant sense of peace. And that's what you are to people. You're this sense of peace. You're this light that they're drawn to.
That's very, very special. Yeah, and I have dreams, and a real vivid one was when my brother-in-law passed away, and I was constantly having dreams of him and of his daughters, and I don't know, like little scenarios, and then I would tell them immediately. So I thought, well, maybe it would connect with them or something. And the one was, he was in the bleachers, and cheering my one niece. They were both laughing and having a good time, and it happened to be she was on the bleachers at a game the same day I had the dream. So it was she. I tell my family all the time because like I had a dream one time of my sister's father-in-law. It was in real early in the morning, and it went through this whole from the beginning to the end of when he passed and the time, and that exact thing happened. I was telling my sister about it later, is I didn't want to, I wasn't sure what happened. I didn't know that he passed when I had the dream. So it was like odd things like that. And I just share it with everybody because I thought, and I'll text my friends, or I had this, saw this, and, and it somehow connects with them, which is so cool. I don't.
So it's really important with this to help you because what happens is when we get these things, it makes us so many times we say, why me? Could it be real? Did this really happen? So I think for you, what's going to really help you a lot is for you to start writing it down. So when you feel these things or get these dreams, I always keep a pad by my bed. I write down things that I dream because they always make sense, whether it's about colors or people or numbers or things that are going to happen. I'll get like I'll dream of like even world events, right? I'll dream of things like that, or I'll sense and feel them. So what I started doing is I write them down and I date it, the date that I dreamt it, and I write it down. I keep a book there because what happens is later on, if you're getting premonitions also, because it sounds like you're getting premonitions too, you're sensing things before they happen, right? Or people are coming to you and trying to tell you, and it's always to help. It's never to scare us, it's never anything, it's not bad, because when you come from a place of light, right, and you have that in your heart, this is what you're going to receive. So when you write it down, and sometimes you can even take a picture of it on your phone. So it's time stamped so people don't think, oh, you just wrote it down now. Because the hardest thing with this, can I tell you what, Denise, the hardest thing is trying to explain something that you're still trying to figure out yourself.
Yeah.
Right. And then to have other people either just say, you're imagining it, there's something wrong with you. This is bad. It's not right. When you just have love in your heart and you think, all I want to do is help you with this, or maybe make you feel better and say, oh my God, your father-in-law came to me and he's okay. It heals people, right? And this is what this is about, is healing people. So they'll work through all of us. None of us are any, do you understand, more special than anybody else? And this is what I really try to convey to people when they come. I so want to help people with this. It's really kind of turned into a mission for me also about, doing this as much as doing, when I see clients to try to heal them. I think this other aspect, if I can reach more people like this that are sitting home and saying, oh my God, I had the same thing happen. And I just thought, there was something wrong with me, or I make it up. I say to people, please write it down, write the date, because you can always refer back to it if it happened later and say, oh my gosh, I didn't make it up. Because sometimes we'll second guess ourselves. We'll
Yeah.
think that, we just made it up or we just thought it. So when you do this, it's really your guide, and it's really gives you the confirmation that you need. And I always just say, talk to God, pray to your angels, ask them what they want you to do with this. You know what I mean? To always let you be the vessel for God. Every day, I always say, God, let me be your vessel to help heal whoever I can today. I always put it there and ask for it from Him. Let Him guide me. So when you start talking to your angels, they're going to come to you, and they are. And your Father, He really knows that He can communicate with you, and He loves it. He wants to reach out. And is there anything with neckties with Him?
Yeah. I have them. I
You
have a lot
do?
of them. Yeah.
Because He actually had me, I was writing down neckties when I was talking to you. because he kept showing me either it's like you want to do them in art or I want to put them in a frame or I want to paint them, like line them up or paint them or put them in a shadow box. Like it was significant for you. This was something, there was something for you too. And sometimes things are so personal. I always say, understand too with messages. They don't always make sense for me because it's not about me, right?
Right.
It's about the person that I'm speaking with, that for you, it makes sense. For me, it's what I hear, but it's for you. I always just say, these messages are to heal you. But when you start receiving this, I always just say it's like a baby learning to crawl and then you walk. And this is what you're doing right now, right? You're learning to stand up and saying, I understand I am getting something. I'm not going to beat myself up anymore about this. I don't need 100 people to agree with me. I don't need to keep asking people, do you think this was real? Do you think I got this? Because this is what happens. We all did that. I did too. When I would first receiving, I would think, or I would try to find another way to say it so they wouldn't think it was me. I'd say, oh, I love your ring. And I'd feel the grandmother saying that was my ring. And they'd say, it was from my grandmother. So it was about me having confirmation first before I felt comfortable, saying it. So this is really what it is. We become so afraid of something that is so beautiful. And it's about you helping other people with it, right? Or going up to someone saying, your mother's here and she loves you. You have no idea how that changes someone's life, right? When you receive a message from your father, how it just gives you that peace because we're always going to miss them, right? We're never going to not miss them. And this isn't what the message is about. It's about saying they're still with you. We still have to live with the pain, of missing someone. My father's in heaven too, and I miss him every day, but I talk to him every day. I still include him in everything. So this is what this is about. And I love the way when you're telling me you're receiving the messages, but now it's about, I want you to have the confidence in it. I want you to not second guess yourself.
Right.
The more you write it down, the more you journal it, and the more you'll start finding out you're receiving. And when you look back at dates, like I would be so excited, like a kid on Christmas, I would look back to something from 4 months ago and think, oh, I wrote it down. Like that really did happen.
Oh,
And that's what's really amazing. So I think if you start doing this, it's going to
yeah.
help you because the way you're receiving them is about love and light. That's what I'm hearing.
Yes, and it's always positive. Like I've not had anything awful or thank goodness. Yeah, even this, house, it's like 140
There's
some
a lot of
odd.
energy in this house. I can feel a lot of energy in this house. I can. And it's almost like, I don't know why I'm seeing like little rooms that almost look like they could go to nowhere. It's like there's like a little room or there's just like a little area, like a lot of little areas in this house, so you can just tell there's a lot of energy. You can feel it in this house. And it's almost sometimes you can move into a place and you can feel it more when you move there because of, the energy that was with this place. It's almost like where it was built to. Like, I feel like there's like something with the land and the property there. It's almost like, I don't know if you're trying to learn the history of the house or who lived there. I feel like there's something
Yeah.
with the history of the house that you could kind of look into. I just feel like your connection is with the painting, with the art, that this is where you're receiving it because your mind goes. You're starting to relax a little bit. And I feel like your family has intuitiveness, all of you, though. I feel like you all have this kind of connection to this, right? That you're all very spiritual and this matters, like to all of you. Is there anything with animals around you or living by animals?
I'm surrounded by my 3 dogs right now. So, yeah, I'm an animal nut, and my family, well, my sister's a nut too with animals, so it's probably
I just keep seeing the animals, but this is Denise, this is what I want for people though on this podcast that I'm doing. It's about all of you. It's about trying to help people because when you understand on your daily life that you're connected, it helps you to go to another place instead of letting your mind start to, race and think, go to the negative. It really helps you to sit back and say, wait a second, I have a team of divine spiritual beings and angels, in heaven that are trying to help me and they're trying to connect with me. Because when you sense and feel something, it is real. I always say to people, listen to that because they're trying to tell you something. I had a girl on yesterday that when we were talking, and I asked her at the end, did you have a spiritual experience? Did you have a moment? And she actually brought up where she said, I was sitting at a red light and I normally would never look when the light would turn green. She said, I would always dart out. I was one of those. I would just dart out. And she said, something said, look both ways. I kept hearing this voice in my head saying, look both ways. And she said, so I looked to the left, didn't see anything. And all of a sudden then I looked to this right and the car just ran right through the red light. She said, like, really quickly, and it crashed into another car. It would have been her. And it totaled the other person's car that it was just gunning. It ran, stop sign or the red light. So do you understand it's these times that when we listen to that voice, and for some people, it's not going to be every day and all the time. It might be at moments right? Where they
Yeah.
want to step in and they want to help you from getting hurt, or they want to, take you to something that's supposed to be really good for you, something you're supposed to do. Maybe it's go to New York, maybe it's make that call for the art show, and not to be afraid that it's something good for you. So it's not always, on the things where they save us, because they do that all the time, but it's also they want to help us maybe with a new job, or to meet someone, that we want to meet someone and that we weren't going to go to that event, and you kept hearing this voice saying you should go, right? So they'll try to help us with these things also. It's about paying attention. Really, it's about paying attention, that we're so caught up today with phones and computers and internet that we've really lost, and they have to work twice as hard to reach us today because of it. See,
Mhm.
that's why when you talked about your dreams, they come to us in our dreams a lot, because we quiet our mind down long enough they can reach us.
That makes sense because
We're
I'm an overthinker, so my mind is always.
You are. But it's also, though, you're high energy, and a lot of people that are high energy are very intuitive, because you're feeling the vibration from heaven. Do you understand? It's not that it's like you and there's something wrong. I think a lot of people that have this, they're higher energy because we feel the energy from heaven, right? We feel it. And sometimes we go, I don't know what to do with this. What do I do with this? So
Right.
we're trying to make sense of it. And I was like that. I was 9, when I just knew and sensed, but you kept it to yourself because you grew up in those times, with your family. I was Catholic, and you just, you were very mindful of, oh my gosh, like, is this not something, you should talk about, until you just realized, no, what I mean? They don't want to hurt me. God didn't give me this because he wants to hurt me. So this is the same thing with you. The more you settle in and
Mm-hmm.
you just say, I know you're helping me, and I know you want to show me things. And the more you communicate back with them, say, what is it you want to show me? And ask them questions. What is it that you want to show me? And just always keep, honestly, I can't emphasize journaling enough, writing down and journaling, because that's where you're going to just write down. I don't care if you see a number or hear a number or a date or a color. It's all significant. It might not make sense to you at the moment, but it will later.
Okay.
And this is what I really want to help people with. I always say the little things are big. For
Yeah.
me, it's always sometimes that last message I give to someone at the end of a session that was the one thing, their face, right? You could tell them so much, and then they'll just look. And it could be something so very small. And that's when they'll just say, oh my gosh, like, how did you know that? It's so important for people
Yeah.
to stay connected. And I want everybody to have this. I want this to be for everyone on your daily life, just to help you. That doesn't mean you're going to all do what I do, but it means, oh my gosh, it's going to make your life an easier journey when you feel connected to something that's bigger than you. That, because I say this all the time now, that people and things will always let you down. Things are temporary. As you're buying something, you're thinking of the next thing you want to buy, right? We do that. We're buying a pair of shoes, like, I should have got the other ones, or maybe I want those too, right? And people are going to let us down because they have their own journey too. We can't put everything on one person, right? They have their own life to figure out. And sometimes we feel let down by that, but it's because they have their own journey too. They're trying to figure out. That's why I always say we have to reach for the stars and reach for something higher. And we have to expect that they're going to answer too. We can't do it and say, they're not going to get back to us. You know what I mean? I don't know why I asked that. You have to do it with intent. The intent behind everything is the most important, whether it's for love or negativity, right? The intent is what is so important. So I always just say, let your intent be good. Expect it and want it, and expect to receive a message. Just like you and I connected today. I messaged you and said, you can come on now, and that you did. So you heard what I sent out to you and you came on. Look at the divine like that. They're a phone call. They hear everything you're saying.
Okay.
Is there a Rob? Is there a Robert or Rob?
Um.
Bob. Why am I hearing Bob?
Probably. Well, there's Bob. Um. There. I don't know that.
Okay, just hold on to that. 'Cause I'm just heard Bob. All of a sudden I heard Bob around you. So you can just,
Yeah. A Bob. Um.
it's okay. You can just hold on to that one.
Okay.
I just heard that around you. And your father talks about you taking a vacation too. I have to tell you, when I'm talking to you, he's talking about you taking a vacation. And I kept hearing beach and water. I don't know if all of you are, if you're getting ready to plan something, but he's referencing, do you understand, some sort of a trip or some sort of a vacation? And is there anything when you blow out your birthday candles that you do it for him also?
Yes.
Okay, it's okay. It's
Yeah.
okay. He's just, do you understand? He keeps just singing.
Mhm.
It's almost like when you sing happy birthday, it's like you put his name in there or you sing
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
Okay, for him also. But Denise, I want you to know that where you're at and what you're experiencing right now is real for you, that it's not in your head. It's just sometimes it's understanding it, I guess is what I want to say. It's learning
Yeah.
to understand it more. And I want you to know if I can ever help you in any way, I want you to not hesitate to reach out because when I was little, I wish I would have had, do you understand? My parents were amazing. They were
Hmm.
very amazing and loving, but it's, you always wish sometimes that you would have someone that you could reach out to or that could maybe, connect you and explain things. So I really want to do this for people. And I want you to understand that I'm here if I can help you with this or something comes up and you haven't experienced and you say, I don't quite understand it. I want you to know that you can reach out to me, and I will get back to you and try to help you with this because I just made a promise to myself because I know what it felt like that I would always try to help people with this. And I just feel like we're at a time and a place right now that people are receiving more messages and they don't understand it a lot. And we're going to start receiving them more now too with the way we're at in the world and things that are going on. I just feel like the veil's being lifted, the angels are communicating more and they want to enlighten us. So if I can do anything at all to help you. And is there anything you would like to ask before we finish? Is there anything you're curious about or wondering about?
Yeah, I don't know. It's and again, it's about understanding or kind of tuning into. I don't know, but like a lot of times, I'll wake up and just have this like heaviness or just a different. A lot of times, it's when I wake up, and I didn't know if it's like you'll just be in this weird mood or just have this a lot of heaviness just getting up. I actually had an experience of I was out with my mom and my sisters and walked by this man. We were just hiking and it's like something just like hit me and I got so emotional and I don't even know the man and I thought, should I talk to that person? And I didn't because it just felt so sad. And then I thought, well, I don't want to, I don't have anything other than I just felt this thing. And I'm like, I don't know if this is anything or, you know, so that kind of thing. Like, how could I tune into that? Or,
Here's what I really know to be true with this when you sense or you walk by someone and you feel their energy because what was happening is you were feeling somebody around them in heaven and they'll want you to go up and sometimes it's just you can just say I know it's very hard and we never want to invade somebody's space that we don't know because I don't walk up to people. I don't know if this is something that they want to have, so I'm very mindful of it, but sometimes it's just if you just say hi to them, hi, how are you, and then that energy will let you know whether you should proceed if they keep their head down or you'll start to feel their energy. And sometimes you can just, it's just, you can just say, listen, I hope you have a nice day or send them some positive energy because what's happening is when you're empathic, you start to feel other people's energies or you will sense I can be out all the time and for me, and I can feel when I walk by someone, I'll feel like, oh my gosh, I'll just feel like a heavy weight around them as if I know they're going through something. So I've had to really either sometimes I'll go down another aisle because I don't want to, invade, I don't want to do that. I don't want to make a spectacle out of people, especially in a store. I don't want other people to listen. That's why even with group sessions, I will do them sometimes, but I hold back on very personal things because I know they're going to message me or I'll message them later and pass that on. I try to be very respectful and mindful of people's privacy and what they're going through. So what you can just do is you just say hi to them, right? Hi, how are you? Or sometimes it can be that they're trying to back you off. Do you understand? So you have to ask your angels. Sometimes they want you to just move away from the person too. So especially
wow.
if you're by yourself, what I mean? It's one thing when you're in a group, but sometimes it's your angels too saying, step back. So you have to, when you start being more clear, right, that they're trying to protect you to move away from them, like that, it could be you need to get away, you need to move. Because so sometimes you have to ask yourself too, and your guardian angel, when you start to communicate, please show me these things, let me know. Or even as you're in that moment, say, do I need to move? Do I need to get away? Right. So ask them that also because I've been in situations where you just knew you need to get out of here, like you need to go, that so they will try to protect you and guide you too. So this is why it's always an open dialogue. It's every single day, right? The mind is a muscle, just like everything, you have to work at it. So you have to also try to understand the differences. Am I supposed to help them or is this them telling me I need to go? And I was just think if you don't know, you just keep moving forward. So
Okay.
I'm very mindful anyway of, what I mean? Somebody out like that and a man and you don't know them, not to be, but it's just, you have to be protecting of yourself too. You have to always protect this gift. It's not something you can just use, what I mean, when you're out randomly. And I know in the beginning, sometimes we like to do that because we want our own validation, right? We're just trying to get confirmation and validation from people besides our family. But you're doing this and you're getting this when you start writing things down.
Okay.
honestly. And then you can say to someone, look, I had this, I sent this, even people you work with at school. I guarantee you, I know you're feeling things about people, your coworkers, that you're sensing and feeling things. You can just reach out to them and say, hey, I do sense and feel things. And are you okay if I do? And when I receive them, if I pass this on to you? And most people will say yes. So if you ask, and then if you just say, oh my gosh, I sense this. Did you just go here? Did you just buy a new car? Do you understand? It'll be things like this. And then that helps you for yourself. You're in school right now. They're teaching you, right? So right now, I always just look at it like you're an angel school. They're teaching you. They're sending you the messages, and they're trying to teach you and your guardian angels and your spirit guides, just like on in heaven, right? Or on earth, we have teachers. We have teachers in heaven. We all came in with them, and they're trying to show us things, and they don't want to bombard us. They don't want to just, if they dumped all of that on you at one time, it would be too much for anyone, right? So that's why they give you a little bit at a time until you get caught up and you say, okay, I understand. I'm not afraid. I understand what you're showing me. And then the next lesson comes in. So this is what they're doing. So the more you start to talk to them and just say, I understand now. I know I'm receiving the messages. I know it comes from love and light. And always just ask Archangel Michael and God, just say, bless me, protect me physically, spiritually, mentally. I always say that from anything evil, harmful, or bad. That's always my mantra. You can have whatever suits you. That's what I say. I always ask for protection and light. And then you just say, show me. I just want to do good with this. I want to help people. And I'm telling you, you're getting there. You are receiving the messages. Now it's about you being confident with it. And that's what I keep hearing is you're just not quite sure yet. You're excited about it.
Yeah.
Sure. And sometimes the heaviness too, you understand when you feel the energy. I'm always a big believer in asking for protection and asking for the light to surround you, and always before you do anything, you always ask for it to come from the highest good and the highest of place. Right. So
Okay.
it's very important before you start anything and when you end anything to ask for that. It's just like in life, you can meet people that aren't nice, right? That want
Right.
to hurt you or be cruel. It's the same thing with anything. So you just, in life, you would walk away from them, right? You would choose to. So it's the same thing with anything. You ask for the protection because I feel for you, this is all about you being blessed and them trying to help you on this. But back to the gentleman, I do believe that this is where when you ask for the help and understand, I don't know, if you're confused whether I'm supposed to help him or am I supposed to get away from them, you're going to get that feeling. But I always just feel like err on the side of caution with that, especially when you don't know. If
Yeah.
it's not clear to you, I believe you should move forward
Good.
because you always have to stay protected. You understand protection is one of the biggest and the most important things, what you're going to do with this. That's what I say to people, don't ever play with something that you don't know about, right? You teach your children
Right.
not to play with matches because they could get burned. I always just believe even with the divine, they love us. So when you do it, it's about coming from this higher place. And you are doing that. So that's what I want you to know. They're trying to help you and move you forward with this. I don't feel anything, other than that around you.
Okay. Wonderful.
I think you're an amazing person and I'm excited for you. And this is what I want to see for people. I want you to feel good about it and not to, not to be afraid or to feel, do you understand if you're not receiving messages because you are. And I would
Right.
really love for you to stay in touch with me with this and let me know,
I will.
your
I'll look
notes,
in the
let
journal.
me know what you're receiving. Yeah, I just think it's really important. And I hope that this
Yeah.
gave you a little bit of peace today and that this helped you because your journey is just beginning. Do you understand when we disconnect today, your journey continues. It doesn't end here. It's just now starting for you.
Yeah. It's a positive. Like I feel good. You know what I mean about it. And
Yes,
so I'll do my
yes, and
praying
you
and
should. And I almost feel like is there anything about you ever sketching your father or ever sketching a picture of your father or painting a picture of your father?
not directly painting him, but
No, I mean like a picture of a picture. It's almost like I look at a picture and I want to paint, or I keep seeing either you sketch your father or something about a sketch of your father.
yeah, I do paintings of when someone's passed, and it's not them, but yes, of
Yes.
with what
Yes.
he
It's like a
means.
memory of them, but it's like something you did, like a painting or a sketch of him, right? I don't mean like he sat in front
Yeah,
of you.
right.
It's like you did some, you know what I mean? That you have one of him, like something that is your vision or like that it came to you and this is how you heal. It's almost very healing for you.
Yeah. Yes.
Because you feel like he's there, you're spending time with him when you do this. He's just
Yeah.
telling you he loves it. That's what I want you to know. He loves
Oh,
it. Okay. I want you to
thank
know.
you.
Denise, I think you're beautiful.
Oh,
And I thank you so much for coming on because for people to want to talk about this is what heals everybody else. And this is what this world and this incarnation is about. It's about bringing a light to a place that really needs it. It's about all of us lifting each other up and not wanting to claim and own everything for yourself. We can't be greedy in life, right? Some people, you
Right.
can't own this. This is for everyone. We all come from the same place. We're all divine spiritual beings and we're all connected. So we should want to enlighten each other with this. It's
Yes.
just like you go to a doctor for help. You go to anybody that you feel is going to help you, right? So honestly, I think you're so beautiful and I think you're
Oh,
amazing. And
thank
I
you.
wish you so much love and light in this journey. And I look forward to staying in touch with you and seeing how you develop with this. And just please know I am here.
Well, I'm sorry. I said one more thing. You
Sure.
were
No,
saying
that's fine.
you were saying Bob, and I didn't know if I should just talk to you later about it or
You can do
just
it now.
it. I don't. That was my dad's best friend. Well, one of my dad's best friends, and he think he's going. I feel he's going through something. He misses him desperately, and he's going through a lot right now. So I didn't know if I should
Yes.
say, hey.
Yes. I always think it's good. And I always say it because I had somebody the other day after we ended our podcast, she's like, some of these notes you told me. And then she messaged me afterwards and I was said, I mean, you could have, she's like, I didn't know if I could say it on there. I didn't know. There was like three things. And do you understand it's his way they're validating that they're watching over him. We can always talk privately about it, but you understand he's watching over him and he's trying to help him and he wants to pick him up because I just feel like he has a lot of other struggles in his life, but this is just really he's having, a difficult time and we can, like I said, we can talk off camera about this, but he is trying to help him and he knows, and this is what he wants you almost to pass the message on to him. If he can hear is that he's watching over him. And there's a lot about being in the car with him. I don't know what this means. There's a lot about your father being in the car with him, like he drives with him, okay, that he travels with him. And I do want you to know that the love is being sent to him and he's trying to lift him up. He wants him to keep moving forward.
Okay, I'll tell him.
Okay. No, I'm glad you brought this up because I think it's very important when they come through. I always say these messages are for you. They don't always make sense for me because they're for you, right? Or somebody that you love, or they'll come in and reference somebody else. I always say, even too, when I get messages of someone that's living, people will panic. Does that mean something's going to happen to them? No, it just means they're sending love from heaven, right? They're just acknowledging them on the physical earth. I don't see when someone's going to leave the physical earth. I've never seen that. I don't see that. It's always them wanting to send love, or they'll know they're going through something, or they want to celebrate something with them. So that's when I get names. But I just feel like he's having some health issues, but he's trying to help him like emotionally also.
Oh, yep, exactly. Yeah. So that I definitely will be calling him after this.
Please let him know this because I think it's going to help to change him. He wants him, it's almost like he has to change some of his habits too. I don't know why he's referencing this, if this makes sense. He's saying he has to change some of his habits.
Okay.
And that would make sense, I guess, for you and for him. But this is what he's referencing to him, that he's always there. And I keep seeing some sort of a bench with your father. I don't know if it's with this man, but it's like I'm seeing a bench.
Yeah, there's a picture of those two on a bench.
You've got to be kidding me.
No, I wish I had it. I would hold it up. And
Can
it's
you
actually
tell
one of
you
my
what? You
favorites.
find it for me later because my producer will put this in. She'll put it in.
Okay, yes, definitely.
This, do you
Wow.
understand? This is what I'm saying. Do you see how amazing this is?
Yeah. And oh my goodness. And I
This
was
is,
just looking at the picture. So
he says he sits on the bench with him. Do you understand? He sits on the bench with him.
okay.
So
Wow.
please tell him this. This is such a big deal. This is
It
like, to
is.
me, I always say it's always sometimes the last thing. These messages, this is
Sweet.
why. And now, do you understand your guardian? I want you to understand your divine spiritual team and your father asked you to ask me about him. This came from the divine and you listened. So this is what I'm saying. It's about feelings where we were getting ready to disconnect. And then you're just like, one more thing. I need to ask her this. I need to ask her this. That they kept almost saying to you, ask her, ask her. See,
Yes.
messages also come into us in our mind as feelings and emotions. That's really to me the big way. It's about the feelings and the knowings. Like, I just have to ask this. I have to ask her this. That came from the divine. It came from your father because now you can help him. And especially staying the bench, like this was the big thing right here.
That's
He knows.
yes.
So
Yes.
this is where I just said you just received a message.
Definitely.
That's what I'm saying. Don't second guess. You did
Okay.
receive that. That this was huge for you to get this message too. It was a really big deal.
Yes. That's amazing.
I love this. I hope that this helps you in some way. And please don't second guess.
Definitely.
Continue with what you just did with me right there.
Okay. Will
Okay.
do.
Denise,
Thank
I think
you.
you're amazing, and I thank you for taking time and coming on and actually being so open and being willing to share what you're going through because honestly, it's about all of us.
Yes, yes. Thank you. You're so wonderful.
God bless. We'll talk soon.